hello.
Oh, I'm just going to
It's always an invitation.
her son's playing baseball game and she was watching it.
I now call to order the public hearing of March 21st, 2022. The time is 6:45. Ben, would you please call the roll?
Member Matheny,
Here.
Member Revolt,
Here.
Member Shroya,
Here.
Member Warren,
Here.
Member Wyrick,
Here.
Member McLeister,
Here.
Member Orr is absent, 6 present.
Okay. At this time, we will begin the public comment portion of our agenda. First and only item is ordinance 6-2022. Ben, would you please read the title for the record?
An ordinance amending Chapter 1127, Establishment of Districts and Map, specifically Section 1127.01, Establishment of Districts of the Codified Ordinances of the City of North Canton, in order to remove the chart of districts contained therein.
Okay, Chairman Roll, would you like to summarize?
Just to reiterate or to refresh memories, this is an effort to make a housekeeping or technical correction. So we have the permitted uses listed in one location as opposed to two. So down the road, if we change one, we err and don't complete the other, we don't have an inconsistency. So
Sounds
have it
good.
in one location,
Sense?
yes, one word. Any questions or comments? No. Then we'll open the floor to the public.
Okay. At this time, anyone wishing to speak in favor of the ordinance?
Come on, Brad.
Okay, seeing none. At this time, anyone wishing to speak against the ordinance?
Chuck Osborne, 307 Southeast North. I don't have any position either way. I just came up here to speak. I did not hear a single word Mr. Revolt said back there. I don't know what this is about. I'm up here to ask you to speak up. Thank you.
Anyone else wishing to speak tonight? Anyone from council? Comments, administration? That's it?
I think it says it all.
Okay. Yep. No further comments.
I move we adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Adjourned. Now call to order the committee of the whole meeting on March 21st, 2022. The time is 7 p.m. Ben, would you please call the roll?
Member McLeister,
Here.
Member Wyrick,
Here.
Member Warren,
Here.
Member Stroya,
Here.
Member Revolt,
Here.
Member Matheny,
Here.
Member Orr is absent, 6 present.
We have a motion to excuse member Orr.
Don't you stretch it.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. 3, community and economic development. Daryl.
Very good. Pursuant to some earlier conversations, I'd like to take this item 3A and 3B and have the administration summarize them for the record. Patrick?
Okay, thank you. These are two different and distinct pieces of legislation, and reading from the title, as titles often are, it's hard to see which one of these that we're dealing with. So I'm going to just take them in the order that I choose. I'm not sure which one is 3A or 3B, but for the one that I'm looking at first is dealing with the existing Kmart assemblage of land that we've put together up there. And we had secured bond anticipation notes a year ago, May 12th of 2021. And those bond anticipation notes were for a 1-year period. So we are approaching the May 12th, 2022 expiration. In light of the recent economic developments in which the Federal Reserve Board of the United States is embarking upon a raising of interest rates, which ultimately will work its way through the economic food chain and cause interest rates to go up for every type of aspect of that. I reached out in conjunction with the finance director to explore the possibility of securing an interest rate in effect in late February that would be locked in now prior to the rate increases happening for these bonds that were going to come up in May of 22. Our request is to secure new 1-year bonds as we move closer to closing on a number of the parcels there, and retire these notes from May of 2021. So repay those and lock in for a new 1-year period at an interest rate of 1.4%. So the amount that we would be redoing would be in the amount of, I'm doing this one first. That's the next one we'll talk about. This is the first one, so I want to tell them. Yeah, so that's a total of 4.524 million. So the 24,000 are the borrowing costs to have the bond anticipation notes issued. So the amount that we're borrowing is 4.5. And so that will replace the ones that are expiring and will be at the current ones, which will be good for 1 year. And our anticipation is that we will not be renewing those a year from now. So in the event that their closings start to occur, Gina will hold those funds in order to pay that off then on May 12th of 2020. Sorry, May 9th of 2023. That's the plan on that one.
Patrick, you had raised a question. and I would direct council just very briefly. The issue of the retirement is covered in item 3B. Draw your attention to page 12, probably the fourth whereas, but, or the second whereas. You'll notice that that's the ordinance that manages the retirements. Thank you, Patrick, for
Okay.
allowing me to interrupt.
All right, so then the other one that
3A.
is for consideration, whichever one it is, A or B, is for a direct placement, like the others. A direct placement's different than a bond auction. So we can get a better rate. We believe that the rate that we can lock in for this series of bond anticipation notes is also 1.4%. And the administration is recommending that we secure funding in the amount of $2.5 million for other economic development projects that are in negotiations. So the total that we are seeking, including the costs to borrow, would be, if both are done, would be $7,031,500. And those again would also be 1-year bond anticipation notes, and because they're for economic development purposes, these are not tax exempt bonds.
Mr. McLeister? Nothing to answer? Okay. Council? All right, so I will make a motion that item 3A, this is the $2.5 million new money, if you will, that Mr. Dior referenced second set of comments, be moved to the council agenda. That is item 3A, new debt.
Second.
Motion is made.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Very good. Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion then. Are there any questions regarding 3B? This is the retirement, I guess, we call it the reissuance, for want of a better phrase, of the original $4.5 million that funded the first tranche of economic development activity. Are there any questions or comments? And I will make a motion that item 3B be moved to the council agenda.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That concludes my portion of the meeting. Thank you, Mr. Diorio.
Okay, moving on to Street and Alley. Start with 4A, that's me. So this is authorizing the vacation. I'm going to read this because it's very complex to understand without reading it. Authorizing the vacation of a portion of Woodside Avenue Northeast from the south property line of parcel 100-12172 to the north property line of parcel number 9280019, located within the corporate limits of the city of North Canton. Ben, could you put the map? Is that it? All right.
Well, I'll pull up the bigger one.
Yeah.
Give me one.
Helps somewhat. It's confusing. This has been talked about for a while. Does the administration want to weigh in with this in any
Sure.
way?
So this is what would be considered part of the Sanctuary 5 development. And this would be on the western edge of that development. And the lots there adjoin a parcel of city land that was an undedicated street, was, if it was ever built, would have been an extension of Woodside. So that's why it's called Woodside Avenue Northeast. And would run, in that area adjacent to, but west of the Sanctuary 5, and then on the other side of that is the high school parking lot. And if you pulled into the high school parking lot and went to the back of the property, it's on that, what would be your right side in the extreme corner. So one of the items that we had requested of the developer and of the school was that in the event that, as these homes are constructed or whatever, we're concerned about getting emergency access into the sanctuary and not having to run all the way up Main, all the way down Apple Road, and then all the way back down around into the back end of the sanctuary. So this would be a different way to get there that would only be available to emergency vehicles. So we had an agreement drawn up that the developer would deed over to us a part of a parcel of the Sanctuary 5 development that would be wide enough for us to construct a cement pad driveway, if you will, that would connect that street, go through this vacated portion that we're talking about with Woodside, vacate that out, get us out of the middle, and connect to the school parking lot. So both the school and the developer have agreed to what we have put together as far as an agreement prepared by Krugliak. And this will ensure that we will be able to get there. So Mr. Graham's team will be in charge of the schematics, the engineering on how this stuff goes when they're getting ready to start their development. So we've worked out some arrangements. They're going to clear the land for us and then get it prepped for us to kind of do our thing that we need to do. But both chiefs, but particularly Fire EMS, are in favor of this and have been strong proponents of us doing this to make it so they can do their job quicker.
Thank you. Any comments, questions?
Actually, you did say it would be gated, you said?
And what we're proposing is that at the juncture of what will become now, since we're vacating the street, the two property owners will now meet. So the school property and the Sanctuary 5 parcel will meet. And where they meet, we're proposing putting in bollards.
Okay.
Similar to the ones if you saw over behind the pine cone, the black bollards. There's emergency keys to unlock those and dispose of or knock those aside so that an emergency vehicle can get through. Okay. Something to that effect. We were wanting to do that there rather than my conversations with the school, rather than at the edge of their parking lot. It'd be too easy for a rambunctious driver to just go around that in the grass and then drive up through and cut through. So we didn't want that. And likewise, on the other end, we didn't feel it would be as effective out at the curb. So we thought this would be the most effective place to put it that would deter other people from wanting to try to just get through.
Okay.
Just my understanding that half of what we're vacating is going to the school and the other half is going to the developer?
The other half will go to the individual to the developer for now, but eventually they'll be replatted to incorporate the backyards of any of the other additional properties that will be on that side.
Okay, but half of it is going to the school then?
Yes,
Okay, half of it is going to the school?
yes.
Thank you.
The preliminary plat on your agenda next actually includes the vacated land from this, if it is approved
On phase 5?
on phase 5.
Thank Thank you.
Anyone else for the comments, questions? Okay, so do I need to make a motion for the public hearing?
Yes, we'll need to make a motion to schedule a public hearing.
So I'd like to make a motion to schedule a public hearing for March 28th, 2022 at 6:45 PM for this ordinance.
Revolt will second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Just real quick for the record, the reason it's such a short time frame until the hearing is because all abutting property owners have signed the petition, so we don't have to do the normal long process.
So there's no need to reach out to everybody that's already agreed and signed off.
Yeah.
Okay. Makes
I mean,
sense.
I will have to send them a letter, but I no longer have to publish in the newspaper.
Okay.
They've waived that right.
And then, can I have a motion and a second to move item 4A onto the council agenda?
Revolt will second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And then, moving on to 4B, I'm going to recuse myself from this. Cheat sheet. Again.
Now that Matt has left, so 4B is actually the sanctuary, Phase 5, and how that fits into the things that Patrick was speaking about earlier, and accepting their preliminary plat. So, Mr. Diorio, would you care to add anything other than what you mentioned about access to the school? I was at the Planning Commission meeting. I know they went through this in great detail. They removed their petition, reworked some things, came back. Mr. Van Gundy was very pleased with the results of what they had and is ready to move forward.
Yeah, it was a great team effort involving legal and building and the developer and the school and administration. So, yeah.
Teamwork.
Yep.
Seeing nothing, I will take a motion to move this to the council agenda.
Revolt will move.
There's a second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Chief Kemp, will you grab Mr. Stroya and bring him back in?
At gunpoint if necessary.
Where's Zip Ties?
Time back. Well, it's the
Thank you.
18th. Yes, I can talk for 4 minutes. Adjourn very slowly. Somebody might have something to add. Anybody?
There's nothing further. I motion to adjourn.
Revolt seconds.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Cool.
18, 15, 22.